OG back at it once again, man. With another video. Um, I just want to tell you guys, man. As I'm putting up this photo, this is to my SYSBM brothers, man. Um, so it's official, man. You know, we can sit back, and talk all about how, um, uh, these American women are. But I'm telling you guys right now, there is hope abroad. I'm an advocate of brothers getting their passports and leaving this damn place because as I looked at Martel the Cool's video, he had just put out about um, that American women are very disrespectful and and stuff, and he really is correct. I mean, we're living in a society even during the pandemic where women are just complete freaking assholes. I mean, like I'll just say up front, and they only want to stay around degenerate men. And as I'm putting up this photo of this interracial couple, I can say that interracial relationships can and will work out. That's if you really really want it bad. If you don't, I understand. And we got a lot of naysayers out here saying that other non-black women are AKA not really great, either, and they're just as bad as the non-BAW women. Well, I'm here to say no, because if you look at really, I've talked to some men of color, fellow men of color, who are actually doing good in a interracial relationship, and they're doing great interracial relationships abroad. And in this photo, you could tell that this brother is happy, even though he's in the water, with this lady right here. This can happen, and I'm sorry, and I'm an advocate for this. I don't give a care if anybody says otherwise. I mean, you got one guy that created a certain channel. I won't say his name, and he's slandering us. He's slandering SYSBM, and I don't like that because I'm not trying to slander him and what he's trying to do, But I will speak out if somebody is really taking away our right to have what we want in our lives, because we're tired of the negativity. And shout out to Martel the Cool again for that video. It's time to passport up, my fellas of color. It really is. I mean, fellow men of color, it is time to passport up and try to get the hell out of Dodge. I mean, right now, if you're like me, you're still in the United States. I mean, you're trying to work out things to get to that destiny, and everybody's trying to tell you that it's impossible. Don't let them do that, man. Stay the course. Stay the course. Stay the course, because everybody's trying to throw you off the course because they're miserable with their lives. They're jealous of you because that you're headed to a destiny, and you can find happiness in this life if you want it. You don't have to be miserable. A lot of people choose to be miserable because they choose to be miserable. They choose to stay in a state of arrested development. They choose to stay not believing in the unknown can be the known. You know what I mean? Because the unknown can be the known. And if you never tried it, why talk about it? I can't talk about this SYSBM dating and mating options abroad if I haven't experienced it yet. And I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm willing to give it a chance. Have I had my doubts about it? Yes, I have. And sometimes psychologically, I can go through that. Martel, I am just like you, brother. I am just like you. I don't have anybody, and I'm not a bad-looking guy. And what's crazy about it is that when you get down to the root of it, what really matters? What you feel and what you see in your life matters. Stop thinking about what other people think. I'm letting you fellow men, my fellow younger men of color who are in their early to mid 20s, late 20s, almost catching up with me to their 30s. I'm telling you, man, I just turned 38 yesterday, and I'm still learning. And I'm going to be learning for a long while how life is getting. I'm almost towards the end of my 30s now, and I'm realizing how what people got to say from the peanut gallery don't matter. That's their opinion. They stay in that mental mindset if they want to. And this particular individual, y'all know who I'm talking about. He has slandered SYSBM so many times, it's not even funny. I can't even look at his content now because he's always slandering SYSBM. I'm tired of that shit. I'm not going to be a punk. I'm not going to be a bitch. I'm going to sit up here and say how things the way they are because we as men need to step up. Now, sometimes things don't work out. Now, I'm not saying try to adore or try to exalt women. No, you have to continue to vet women, whether abroad or domestic. But I say abroad, it's probably better to vet them because you're still going to have some choices. You're still going to have plenty of dating options that are not like here in the United States, especially here where I live, the Northern California Bay Area, where you got to have a car, you got to have this, you got to have an expensive car. You can't even have a decent car now to even like mess with a chick. You know what I'm saying? Now, once in a blue moon, I'll have some chicks smile, but that's once in a blue moon. That's not ever all the time. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I'm not promoting everybody get into the international, you know, SYSBM dating and mating options. I'm not saying that it's for everybody. Now, shout out to Mad Bus Driver again. Hopefully, you could try to get in contact with me. If anybody is listening to this commentary, please tell Mad Bus Driver to holler at me, aka Rolando G, over here at my channel. I would like to talk to him more about this because we need to understand that these women here don't want us. They don't want good Afro-American men. And the BL females want to control us. That's all they want to do. They don't want to fall in love with us. They want to be able to control us. That's why they're so upset. Why do you think that they go on their little tangents about, oh, we're not protected. We're not protected. We're the most unprotected group of women. Really? You know who's the most unprotected people on this planet Earth and in society in our as reality as we know it? Children are. Children are the most unprotected. And you so worried about somebody else's dating and mating options that are outside the so-called race that you can't even fix your own damn life. You can't even worry about your own damn self. Well, I'm here to say that there is life after the Matrix. There is life after this so-called United States that your parents born and bred you in, told you this was the end all to be all. This is where you could create your future. I'm sorry to say your parents were wrong and my parents were wrong. Because this era that we're living in and that we feeling, this is not feeling good, especially for me. And I'm one of the I'm one of the mid-range, young older cats in the SYSBM. There's a lot of older, SYSBM gentlemen here who are Generation Xers, who are, probably partial late born, baby boomers. But most of us are Zennial to early born millennials to cut off from the younger Generation X. And we know better. And we're tired of this. And we're the next generation that's up. See, the silent generation and the baby boomers are damn near almost all on their way out. And we got to make sure that our future is better for us to succeed. Stop living up under a rock. Stop thinking anything is impossible. Because once you take life by the balls, it's going to be easier for you to accomplish things. Now, right now, a lot of us may not have a lot of money. I understand that. A lot of brothers, right now we're saving up. We're trying to stack up still. It's tough, especially during a pandemic. And shout out to Chris Owens for really doing a lot of vetting and a lot of stuff that he does to get to us to know in our thick skulls, though we don't want to admit it or not, or try to understand. But we have to understand that these women do not want us. They don't have nothing to do with us. You have to get that in your mind. Stop thinking that there's a unicorn here in the United States. There is not, definitely not here. Unless you want somebody from your mama's church, or from your uncle's church, or from your grandma's church, and that ain't gonna work out, and that's controlled too. And I say besides SYSBM, you are taking the Afro-intelligent, well-to-do brother type option. That's what I'll call it. The well-to-do brother type option. The well-to-do brother type option is leaving the United States, knowing that you don't really fit in here if you're a well-to-do good brother. Whether you are of means or mid-range, mid-range okay of means. That means, financially, if you're financially mid-range and you're financially high up range, both don't matter. If you're a good brother with integrity and with a good heart and have something to bring to the table, it don't matter what your mama and your sisters say. It's about you. You got to focus in and hone in on yourself. Love yourself first. Learn how to love yourself first, and then you can pursue the type of woman that you so-called desire. And this dude, and this brother, man of color in the picture, he looks like he's happy. And I want to be like him myself someday. So there's nothing wrong with what we're doing. This is not hurting anybody. This is not picking on anybody. We're just fed up because we know as men of color, of good men of color in this country, we get the short end of the stick every time. Oh, and here's the other thing that they try to tell us. We'll just date an overweight size female, or lower your standards and you might get something. Really? And I've actually heard this from people on my job. 10 years ago, I heard this on my job. Lower my standards and I might just get something. Really? And I knew something was wrong with that. And I was so conflicted day to day, thinking that in my mind what they just said was true, and I should have known that it wasn't true. That like this guy that you see here on the screen, I have an option. And now that I'm in my late 30s now, I know I have options. I know I matter and I look good to some women abroad. So I'm going to take those options. I don't want to be staying in a state, stuck in a state of arrested development for the rest of my life. I live around a guy currently right now that's like that. And you know how old he is? He's 50 plus years old. He's so much on a so-called pro-black tip, he can't see what SYSBM is truly about. He's so stuck on stupid, and so trying to wonder why our so-called group of so-called these BL females are the way they are. I don't question anymore. It is what it is. And your best bet, if you are a well-to-do, critically thinking brother of smarts, and you know what you deserve better, you're going to get out of this place. You're going to eventually leave this place. But leave on good terms. Don't get frustrated. Don't get mad to the point where you just go somewhere and you ain't got no pot to piss in, no window to throw it out of. Don't do that. Because then you really find yourself in a jam. Let's try to hone these skills. Hone these language skills. Get equipped. Look at opportunities abroad. Go online. There's plenty of sites where you can find that. I'm going to do the same. Let's encourage each other. Because this is what we got to do now. Nobody's going to have our backs on this but our own selves and fellow SYSBM brothers who can show us a little bit of thing or two. Not try to baby us, but just show us a little bit of a thing or two, and then we'll be well on our way. I don't feel like I want to dote over anybody. If you need my help, I'm here for you. But we need to stop believing this society is still for us. It's not. I'm just coasting through it right now. I'm tolerating it. Just like a guy, I always say this to some of my partners that I talk to about this stuff, and they agree. A lot of my guys, a lot of my partners, they don't believe in SYSBM, but they believe that me and my situation, they saying, man, hey man, go for it. They saying, hey, I'm here for now. I may think about that, but right now you're better than me at that. Go for it. And they support me. Okay. And here's the thing. And I always told myself, I'm living in the United States, and living in the United States is like I'm a player on a professional Major League Baseball, NBA, or NFL team. And I'm that athlete, that star athlete that's been on this team for a while, and this team, and I'm not feeling this team. I'm tolerating this team. Well, just like I'm that star player tolerating the team he don't want to be with, but he knows he got to finish out that contract before he becomes a free agent. That's me right now with the United States. That's me thinking about how I view the San Francisco Bay Area right now. That's me. I am on the Bay. I've been on the Bay Area's team for over 30 years. Haven't got a free agency contract yet. And I'm waiting for my free agency to be up so I can be rid of this place, be rid of this so-called team. Because this team called the San Francisco Bay Area is not a team player. You got some people on the team, like your family members, that may love you, support you a little bit, do a little bit for you, but that's about it. But at the end of the day, I'm a grown man that has to set my life, where I'm going with my life. Because when everybody else is long gone and taking that dive, I got to still further on. Because that's the way life is. So, fellow men of color, fellow brothers in the SYSBM sector, stop listening to the haters. I'm going to stop complaining myself, and I'm going to be about encouragement, because we can do this. Nothing can stop us. That's all I have to say. I'm out. SYSBM. Peace.